him! You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight.
Hey CBR fans, Deadpool and Wolverine has finally arrived, bringing a wave of excitement and revealing a major connection to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In this latest adventure, Deadpool and Wolverine team up to save Earth 10,005, a universe with a rich and troubled history. But what exactly is Earth 10,005? Earth 10,005 is home to the original X-Men cinematic universe, the pioneering attempt at a Marvel film series, starting with the 2000 movie X-Men. The X-Men series, launched by Fox, began with a trilogy that included X-Men 2000, X2 2003, and X-Men The Last Stand 2006. These films focused on mutants' fight for social acceptance, with the rivalry between Professor X and Magneto at the core. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine became a standout character, leading his own trilogy with X-Men Origins. Wolverine 2009, The Wolverine 2013, and the critically acclaimed Logan 2017. Fox later explored prequels with X-Men. First Class 2011, reintroducing younger versions of key characters. This led to more entries like X-Men, Days of Future Past 2014, X-Men Apocalypse 2016, and Dark Phoenix 2019. The last attempt to expand the universe was The New Mutants 2020, though it faced challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The series continued to evolve with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, who brought a fresh, irreverent take in Deadpool 2016, and Deadpool 2 2018. These films paved the way for the current crossover in Deadpool and Wolverine, blending humor with the epic action of the X-Men saga. Earth 10,005 holds a special place in fans' hearts, but it's also been a roller coaster of highs and lows. Early films like X-Men and the Wolverine set box office records, but later entries struggled. Movies like Dark Phoenix underperformed, highlighting the series' inconsistent reception. What kept the Marvel Fox universe unique was its standalone storytelling, not reliant on interconnected Easter eggs and cameos. However, this also meant it couldn't compete with the MCU's interconnected hype. As we bid farewell to Earth 10,005, Deadpool and Wolverine stands as a tribute to the legacy of the Marvel Fox universe.
Little cinematic universe is about to change forever.
As Deadpool and Wolverine takes fans of the MCU through many alternate realities, they come across some surprising variants of Wolverine. Today on CBR, we're looking at every Wolverine variant in Deadpool and Wolverine. When Deadpool and Wolverine was revealed to be a wild trip through the Marvel Cinematic Universe, fans were all in on one major aspect: the idea of seeing variants. Marvel Studios delivers with many epic cameos. With that in mind, here are the Wolverine variants seen in Deadpool 3. The movie opens up by having the Prime Wade Wilson digging up Logan's corpse. Unfortunately, all that's left behind is the adamantium skeleton. Deadpool uses the bones as weapons to kill the Time Variance Authority soldiers who are hunting him down. Wade steals the temporal pad from the TVA's Mr. Paradox and jumps to different realities to find a Logan. One of them has a Wolverine in a white vest working on his motorcycle. It's not Jackman, but Henry Cavill, whom the movie's credits list as Cavill-Reen. Wolverine is a short character in the comics, under 6 feet. Some fans felt Jackman was too tall for the role. The MCU film shrinks him down to look like an Oompa Loompa from Willy Wonka's realm in one of the movie's funniest scenes. Jackman's eye patch-wearing Logan from Earth 616 is all suave and elegant with his white suit as he gambles in a casino. Deadpool also jumps in a reality where Wolverine is surrounded by rain and bloodied skulls. This Wolverine is crucified on a giant X, a nod to the iconic Mark Silvestri cover for Uncanny X-Men number 251. Mark Miller and Steve McNiven's Old Man Logan from Earth 807-128 doesn't want Deadpool near his premises or car. The inspiration had to be Clint Eastwood for this one. This alternative reality Wolverine was created in 1994. Deadpool meets the Wolverine from the Age of Apocalypse era, Earth 295, in the back of a nightclub. John Byrne is honored when Deadpool meets his Wolverine. This is the Logan with the brown and yellow costume that Byrne designed in the 1980s. To top it off, there's a shot that pays homage to the cover for Incredible Hulk number 340 from 1987. Deadpool eventually gets the Wolverine scene in all the trailers. This is the Logan who rocks the blue and yellow costume.
Don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Hello, and thanks for joining us here at CBR. With Deadpool and Wolverine on our minds, it's time we take a look at how the duo's comic connections could influence the film. Across several comics, the talkative, sarcastic Deadpool and the curmudgeonly Wolverine have crossed paths plenty of times, which might provide some clues as to the tone of the upcoming Marvel film. The first meeting of Wolverine and Deadpool happened way back in 1994. In Wolverine, Vol 2, #88, Logan encounters the Merc with a mouth after being sent to an apartment in search of Garrison Kane. Instead, Wolverine finds Deadpool, who previously dated Kane's girlfriend. Moments later, violence ensues. Deadpool and Wolverine nearly hack each other to pieces, indicating what the characters' first encounter might be like in the MCU. In a few instances, namely Deadpool #27 and Cable and Deadpool #44, Deadpool goes looking for Wolverine to scratch an itch. Not a literal itch, but a desire to fill a void in his being through violence and dubious camaraderie. In these comics, Deadpool seeks Wolverine's help and friendship, both of which start with bloody battles and frequent regeneration. As the trailers have highlighted, Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine will at least see our heroes on opposite sides of the playing field, before forming a tenuous alliance to take down a greater threat than either has ever faced. In Old Man Logan, one of the best Wolverine comics to date, the hero embarks on a post-apocalyptic journey. He eventually encounters Deadpool, who has aged, though remains more or less the same character. Given the tone of Old Man Logan and the film inspired heavily by it, 2017's Logan, it's likely that some elements of this interaction will pop up in the film. Initially, a scene of combat between the two characters could highlight all of the places both characters have been, referring to the comic book histories. And how much has changed in this new setting? Wolverine and Deadpool often join up to take down enemies that neither could handle on their own. With both characters' ability to run headlong into battle, the two together are virtually unstoppable. But in some instances, a distraction has been necessary, a role for which Deadpool was made. In Wolverine Deadpool the Decoy, 2010 to 2011, and Deadpool's efforts as a probationary ex-member in Deadpool, #16, 2008, the character has put himself in high-risk situations so that Wolverine can ultimately drag his nearly lifeless, mangled body to safety. Since Logan is still considered a canonical finish for Hugh Jackman's character, Deadpool will be likely the one to have a fitting send-off before the X-Men are finally brought into the MCU.
Wait! Time!
You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight. It's not gonna be easy.
Baby knife, you shoot the double, you take him down. Side control, then full mount, and you ground and pound till he makes no sound because he's dead.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God. Okay, good luck. I'm a huge fan.
Hey CBR fans! Today, we've got some exciting news straight from Shanghai, China. Marvel fans were treated to a special 35-minute sneak peek of the highly anticipated Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Let's dive into the details. Director Shawn Levy, alongside Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, surprised a small theater of fans in Shanghai with exclusive footage from Deadpool and Wolverine. The reaction? Constant laughter and applause. Reynolds shared his excitement saying, "This is my favorite Deadpool movie that I've ever been a part of." Jackman echoed his sentiments, calling it a labor of love and a joy to work with his best friends. The sneak peek had everything you'd expect from a Deadpool movie: cynical irony, blunt self-mockery, and hilarious jokes about Disney and 20th Century Fox. According to Comic Book, fans also got a glimpse of Deadpool and Wolverine interacting with a major Marvel character. Reynolds teased, "There's so many surprises in the movie, we don't want the world to start talking about it before people actually get a chance to see it. But those 35 minutes, they cook. They're pretty damn incredible." Shawn Levy chimed in after the screening, promising even more surprises. "Wait till you see the whole thing," he said. "There are a lot of surprises coming for you later this month." With so much packed into this film, Levy recommends multiple viewings to catch all the details and jokes. "There are moments where the audience is going to lose their damn minds," he explained, using hyperbole to emphasize the film's impact. Deadpool and Wolverine is already projected to make a huge splash at the box office, with estimates between $160 million and $165 million during its opening weekend. If these predictions hold, it will be the highest-earning opening weekend of any movie released in 2024 and the best opening ever for an R-rated film, surpassing the 2016 Deadpool movie.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero. This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Well, my entire world needs you.
In the world of Marvel 2099, Wolverine has undergone a significant transformation, gaining unprecedented power and adopting a new codename. This is mine. Annihilation 2099 #1 introduces Logan as the last Nova, marking a pivotal moment in his comic book journey. Warning, spoilers ahead. The storyline of the last Nova begins on the planet Xandar, where a lone hero named Nova, also known as Logan, roams the streets of a small town. Xandar faces a dire threat when symbiote-wielding, null-worshipping outlaws launch a vicious attack. Despite Nova's efforts to protect the city, he is initially overpowered by the villains. However, this Nova is unlike any other, possessing a resilience and strength that makes him nearly unstoppable. You alright? The mantle of Nova has a storied history in the Marvel Universe, originating with Richard Rider in 1976's Nova #1. Richard Rider became Nova after being chosen by the alien Roman Day, inheriting cosmic energies and unparalleled power. Richard's journey took him from battling terrestrial supervillains to exploring the vast expanses of space.
You dragged me all the way out here to surrender? This is your mentor?
Marvel 2099 has evolved significantly since its inception over 3 decades ago. The current iteration of Marvel 2099 is a result of numerous storylines and branching timelines that require consolidation. In 2099 Alpha #1, Dr. Doom utilized the knowledge of Uatu the Watcher to mend the fractured strands of reality, creating a unified timeline.
They did it. They really did it. There's still hope.
As Annihilation 2099 propels Wolverine into this futuristic world, fans are also treated to insights from the recently released Wolverine Deep Cut. This series addresses the gaps left during Wolverine's brief absence in the 1980s.
We've been trying to contact you for days, Wolverine. Where have you been?
Somewhere cold.
Annihilation 2099 #1 is now available for readers as of July 3rd from Marvel Comics. This issue not only redefines Wolverine's role in the 2099 universe, but also promises a thrilling and powerful new chapter for one of Marvel's most iconic characters.
Who's next? Oh my God. Sabretooth, ready to die.
Less than a month away from its premiere, Deadpool and Wolverine has just released a brand new teaser. Barely 1 minute long, the new teaser dives into Hugh Jackman's Wolverine variant and brings back an original X-Men villain. Today on CBR, the new Deadpool and Wolverine teaser shows plenty of interesting details, and even brings back an original X-Men villain. Shared on Hugh Jackman's X account, the teaser clip confirms the return of one villain from the original 2000s X-Men Sabretooth. Deadpool and Wolverine will bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine after the character's demise in 2017's Logan, and the new teaser dives into some explanations about the new variant. At the same time, it reveals one of the many cameos from the film in the form of Sabretooth. Jackman captioned the 1 minute teaser, "Stop bringing up my past," which explains that the Wolverine is no hero. Matthew McFadden's Paradox explains, "This Wolverine let down his entire world. However, Deadpool urges Wolverine to help him save his world." With several new scenes, the audience is also introduced to one of the film's villains, Sabretooth. Although he is not officially confirmed as a cast member, the character seems to be played by the original X-Men actor, Tyler Mane. The X-Men film also had Liev Schreiber play a variant of the character as an adult in 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds finally reprises his role as the Merc with a Mouth in the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine, but the new superhero film isn't meant to be considered Deadpool 3. The upcoming movie is Deadpool's first stint in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he shares the platform with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Director Sean Levy explained about the film in an interview with Screen Rant. "As far as crafting the Deadpool and Wolverine story, I just felt privileged every day because you're talking about two massive movie stars in their most iconic movie roles. It also gave me an opportunity. It's the third Deadpool movie, but it's not Deadpool 3. It's a different thing that's very much Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's not trying to copycat anything from the first two movies. They were awesome, but this is a two-hander character adventure." What changed the directory of Deadpool 3 was Hugh Jackman's involvement. The actor had retired from the superhero universe, but he felt like the film was worth revising his character.
I will bathe in the blood of your enemies.
Karan Soni is set to make his third appearance as the beloved taxi driver Dopinder in the upcoming film Deadpool and Wolverine, joining Ryan Reynolds once again. Expressing his enthusiasm about reprising his role, Soni emphasizes that the film's fresh story is precisely what the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs right now. In an interview with US Weekly, Soni shared his thoughts on the film's development. "It's a long time coming, but it was one of those things where because it was such a long time, it's gotten really good. There was a version of the script before Hugh Jackman said yes. I think it's coming at the right time for the MCU, which is in need of something fresh, and I would not bet against Ryan."
I did not tell him to do that. Absolutely not. You got lost in translation. Dopinder, this is no way to win Gita's heart back. I'm so proud of you.
Hugh Jackman, who will be reprising his role as Wolverine, played a crucial role in initiating the project. Jackman recently revealed that he was the one who proposed the idea of a team-up movie to Reynolds just before the film was put on hold. "I was sitting on a beach, not a care in the world, and for some reason, the thought came into my head. What do you want to do?" Then, literally, I thought, Deadpool Wolverine. Jackman's involvement significantly influenced the film's direction. Director Sean Levy mentioned how Jackman's return transformed the project's trajectory.
Wait, is that you? Stryker finally figured out how to shut you up.
We had been workshopping a lot of ideas about possible stories for a third Deadpool movie. Those were story ideas that were more sequel-y to the first two Deadpools, but none of them imagined such a seismic shift. Jackman also spoke about what it was like to return as Wolverine after nearly a decade. He expressed his excitement about exploring a new aspect of the character. "I instinctively knew that Deadpool was going to allow us to get a different side of the character than I've ever played before in every way, from emotion, humor, dialogue, and action."
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Well, my entire world needs you. Shake on it. Ah! Nicked it. Just got the tip with your little steak knife.
Deadpool and Wolverine is set to hit theaters worldwide on July 26, and anticipation is high among fans and critics alike. The film promises a unique blend of humor, action, and a fresh take on the characters, aiming to bring a much-needed breath of fresh air to the MCU.
Oh my God. Sabretooth, ready to die. Wait. Time!
With the combination of Reynolds' iconic portrayal of Deadpool and Jackman's legendary Wolverine, this film is poised to become a standout entry in the Marvel franchise.
Maximum effort.
Deadpool fans, hold on to your chimichangas. As the Merc with a Mouth gears up for his major motion picture release next month, Marvel has dropped a shocking revelation. This September, Deadpool will die. Welcome back to CBR. And yes, you heard that right. Marvel has announced that in Deadpool issue number 6, the climactic issue of the first story arc by Cody Ziegler and Roge Antonio will mark the death of Wade Wilson. The striking cover features a villain's hands disturbingly poking through Deadpool's chest, teasing an insane turn of events. Now, we've seen Deadpool die before. Remember the storyline literally titled Dead? But this time, Marvel promises a bold new era in Deadpool comic book history. The mastermind behind this deadly plot is Deadpool's new villain, Death Grip. Dedicated to killing the unkillable Deadpool, it seems he might finally be succeeding.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I can't feel my legs! I can't feel... Oh no, they're right here!
In Marvel's press release, they teased a startling turning point with the death of Wade Wilson. Cody Ziegler, the writer of this series, discussed Death Grip's unique approach with comicbook.com. Ziegler described Death Grip as a character who studied the mystic arts but failed out, mixing mysticism with martial arts prowess. He's built a cult-like religion around chasing death and finding an avatar for it. And what's more enticing than someone who is unkillable? Death Grip's relentless pursuit of Deadpool has created intense conflict, with the villain aiming to learn from someone who seemingly can't be killed. If mastering deadly martial arts is your goal, who better to practice on than Deadpool? As we approach this monumental issue, the mystery deepens. What does the death of Wade Wilson truly mean? Marvel promises more specifics in the weeks ahead. Deadpool #6 will kick off an all-new era for the series. Mark your calendars for September and stay tuned for more updates on Deadpool's fate. Is this really the end for Wade Wilson? Or just another twisted chapter in his outrageous saga? Only time will tell.
It's 2 tickets to Deadpool and Wolverine. Yep.
Wolverine and Deadpool have had multiple encounters, but a question that rarely gets answered is which is stronger. Some conclusions can be made from their adventures and accomplishments. Today on CBR, we look at Wolverine and Deadpool, who are part-time allies and part-time enemies who share many powers. Who would win in a fight, Wolverine or Deadpool? Back in the day, Wolverine would heal quickly from cuts, stabs, and bullet wounds. Greater injuries would take more time. It's gotten more and more powerful over the years. Deadpool's main superpower is his healing factor, and what a healing factor it is. In multiple comics over the years, it's been established that Deadpool's healing factor is more powerful than Wolverine's. Wolverine's bones are basically unbreakable, which allows him to take even more damage. Adamantium skeleton adds to that durability. Getting punched by Wolverine is like getting hit by a flesh-covered steel wall, and getting headbutted is like getting smacked with a wrecking ball. And when he attacks with his foot-long adamantium claws, 3 on each hand, look out. These blades allow him to slash and stab anything or anyone in his way. Deadpool does canonically have super agility from the Weapon X program, and stronger healing, but no adamantium skull. He's an amazing acrobat and hand-to-hand fighter. He's a crack shot with any weapon. He specializes in pistols and can hit shots while cartwheeling around the battlefield. Deadpool is a whirling dervish, jumping and spinning with his swords, taking loads of damage. He's a master swordsman, able to fight as well with 2 blades as most can fight with 1, which is a skill he would need to take on Wolverine and survive. Deadpool's greatest feat is from an alternate universe. In Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, Deadpool snaps and uses his skills to kill everyone in the Marvel Universe. Deadpool showed just how adaptable he was, but most importantly, he showed just how smart a fighter he is. Deadpool is a low power level hero, but he can survive anything and is smart enough to devise ways to kill pretty much anyone. Like most comic book crossovers, Deadpool and Wolverine World War III begins with the 2 heroes having an impromptu team-up. After the 2 part ways, Wolverine is sent to find the Merc with a mouth. He follows the clues to find Deadpool, though unknown parties have heavily modified him. Deadpool, uncharacteristically quiet, sprouts energy blades from his arms and attacks Wolverine, taking him down. This is yet another fight where Deadpool has won at least the opening phase of this fight. The interesting thing about this fight is that it shadows the battle between Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Really? Can you believe we went back there? Everyone always panned that battle, so it'll be great to see how Kelly and Kubert make this version of Deadpool work for the remainder of the series. The full extent of Deadpool's enhancements won't be known until later in the series, but regardless, it's still yet another fight in which Deadpool puts a hurt on Wolverine. It'll be interesting to see how all of this will turn out. Deadpool can often beat Wolverine because his weapons usually have a longer reach than Wolverine's claws, and he can usually get the most damage in first, though it further highlights that while Wolverine is stronger, Deadpool is deadlier. Wolverine definitely can beat Deadpool and is stronger than him, but Deadpool's speed and healing factor have allowed him to get the drop on Wolverine, do a lot of damage, and win fights. Wolverine and Deadpool have fought many times, each getting some wins. From what has been established in the comics, Wolverine is physically stronger than Deadpool, but Deadpool is faster. Deadpool's healing factor is better, but Wolverine's superior sense and decades of training make him extremely stealthy. Their fighting skills are also about even, although Deadpool is much more imaginative when it comes to killing. Deadpool's fighting style, skill base, and aptitude for violence make him much more dangerous than Wolverine. Despite Wolverine being stronger, Deadpool has won more fights between the two and is more dangerous than Wolverine. I think if you're gonna put money on it, surprisingly, it's more likely that Deadpool will win a fight than Wolverine.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes! But I can't.
Deadpool and Wolverine pushes unprecedented boundaries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first ever R-rated film. However, director Sean Levy reveals the film couldn't go all the way with its risque nature due to the omission of one aspect. Welcome to CBR. Today, we're gonna look into the Deadpool and Wolverine director as they reveal the one thing that couldn't be included in the film. Speaking with Total Film, Levy delved into the creative conversation behind the scenes of Deadpool and Wolverine to determine what could feature in the Phase 5 tentpole. According to Levy, one thing ruled out during the initial talks was the inclusion of drug use. However, they managed to weave in a joke about the omission to add to the film's penchant for fourth wall breaking. I'm so wary of what I can say, but certainly there were early conversations about overt drug use. And we thought that was an interesting conversation. Let's actually write a dialogue scene about having had it. A recent Deadpool and Wolverine trailer made cheeky hints at cocaine use, with Ryan Reynolds' Merc with a Mouth hitting out at Blind Al for offering him Bolivian marching powder during the promotion of Deadpool and Wolverine. It's been made clear nothing and no one is off limits, including Marvel President, who is the butt of multiple jokes in the superhero blockbuster.
Wanna do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
Expectations continue to rise ahead of Deadpool and Wolverine's highly anticipated debut, with the film set for a huge opening weekend at the box office following encouraging early ticket sales. The latest Deadpool installment looks set to change the MCU landscape, with Wade Wilson and Logan tasked with a major mission by the Time Variance Authority that could transform how the multiverse works. The film also marks Jackman's Wolverine return, having last played the character in the Oscar-nominated 2017 film, Logan. Levy previously assured fans Deadpool and Wolverine earned its R rating as the film marks the MCU's tonal shift, with shows like Echo teasing the cinematic universe's edgier approach. Marvel will hope Deadpool and Wolverine brings out audiences in droves after the record-breaking commercial failures of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and The Marvels last year. Deadpool and Wolverine is the only big screen release from the MCU in 2024.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes! But I can't.
Deadpool and Wolverine pushes unprecedented boundaries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first ever R-rated film. However, director Sean Levy reveals the film couldn't go all the way with its risque nature due to the omission of one aspect. Welcome to CBR. Today, we're gonna look into the Deadpool and Wolverine director as they reveal the one thing that couldn't be included in the film. Speaking with Total Film, Levy delved into the creative conversation behind the scenes of Deadpool and Wolverine to determine what could feature in the Phase 5 tentpole. According to Levy, one thing ruled out during the initial talks was the inclusion of drug use. However, they managed to weave in a joke about the omission to add to the film's penchant for fourth wall breaking. I'm so wary of what I can say, but certainly there were early conversations about overt drug use. And we thought that was an interesting conversation. Let's actually write a dialogue scene about having had it. A recent Deadpool and Wolverine trailer made cheeky hints at cocaine use, with Ryan Reynolds' Merc with a Mouth hitting out at Blind Al for offering him Bolivian marching powder during the promotion of Deadpool and Wolverine. It's been made clear nothing and no one is off limits, including Marvel President, who is the butt of multiple jokes in the superhero blockbuster.
Wanna do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
Expectations continue to rise ahead of Deadpool and Wolverine's highly anticipated debut, with the film set for a huge opening weekend at the box office following encouraging early ticket sales. The latest Deadpool installment looks set to change the MCU landscape, with Wade Wilson and Logan tasked with a major mission by the Time Variance Authority that could transform how the multiverse works. The film also marks Jackman's Wolverine return, having last played the character in the Oscar-nominated 2017 film, Logan. Levy previously assured fans Deadpool and Wolverine earned its R rating as the film marks the MCU's tonal shift, with shows like Echo teasing the cinematic universe's edgier approach. Marvel will hope Deadpool and Wolverine brings out audiences in droves after the record-breaking commercial failures of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and The Marvels last year. Deadpool and Wolverine is the only big screen release from the MCU in 2024.
He's the best at what he does, and what he does isn't very nice. But also, some of the stuff he does is kinda weird. Wolverine is a more complicated character than you might think. We all know the basics of Wolverine. He heals really fast, his bones are coated in unbreakable adamantium, and he has a sweet set of claws. For most people, that would be all the powers that they would need. But there's other powers and side effects that come with being Wolverine that may not be as well known. With the world's angriest Canadian being the breakaway star of the X-Men franchise at the movies as well, there's even more strange things to know about how the man known as Logan made the leap from page to screen. Let's take a look. One of the main things that makes Wolverine Wolverine is his healing factor. He's not the only Marvel hero that gets a do-over on any mistakes that might cause injury, but he has made the most of it. One of the ways he's done that is by not dying. Like, for a really, really long time. Logan was born in the 80s. That is, the 1880s. Turns out that Logan had been hopping around the world for a while before becoming Canada's answer to the super soldier. In this regard, he shares something with the Incredible Hulk and tortoises. That's negligible senescence. Since the cells are created new and generally tougher, Logan doesn't age traditionally. Unlike a tortoise or the Hulk, Logan does eventually age. In fact, the storyline where he started showing his age, Old Man Logan, became the basis for Hugh Jackman's final appearance as the titular character. Although a part of that is down to the adamantium on his bones poisoning his system. Without that, who knows how long Logan would stick around? For a guy whose signature move is to have Colossus throw him at the most dangerous thing he can find, it's pretty impressive. We all have that thing we'd like to learn if we just had the time. Maybe we wanted to pick up macrame or finally learn how to play the piano, but Fortnite just added a bunch of new maps and skins and there are only so many hours in the day. But if you had an unnaturally long life thanks to your accelerated healing powers, you have times to pick things up here and there. Especially if you're roaming the world trying to find a place in it that makes the best out of your healing abilities and the bone claws that come out of your hand. For Wolverine, that means that he's had the time to not only learn a lot of fighting and tactics skills, but also has allowed him to become a polyglot. Polyglot is a fancy term for someone who knows a bunch of languages. And thanks to Logan's time and wandering feet, he's picked up a lot of languages. And like I said, he's also learned a lot of fighting techniques and had the time to hone that muscle memory and his reflexes to make him a formidable fighter even without claws. One of the hallmarks of Logan for a long time was the mystery of how he got the way he is. He knew that his skeleton was covered in Marvel's unbreakable miracle metal, but he didn't know why. All he knew is that it made him angry. Eventually, Professor X was able to unlock the truth of the Weapon X program that was so traumatic that he ended up blocking it out. But the Weapon X program wasn't the only thing that he forgot. He forgot his own name. No, not his first name, his whole name. Logan was actually the name of the family friend that killed Wolverine's father during an argument. The event had a profound effect on the young Wolverine, and his brain decided that it had enough of thinking about his name, so it didn't. It turns out that his propensity to forget is just a side effect of his healing factor. As a significant traumatic event happens, his brain heals it quickly, which is to say it packs it away and never thinks of it again. Logan's real name is James Howlett, which doesn't sound as cool as Logan. A long life of training, learning, and forgetting everything super bad that happened to you might be enough for most people, but Wolverine exists in the Marvel Universe. There's a lot of different kinds of threats that one can face in that universe, including Werewolf by Night. Is there another kind of werewolf? And actual Dracula. The one thing these two classic monsters share is the ability to make other people like them. Dracula can make people vampires, and Werewolf by Night can make new werewolves out of anyone he doesn't kill all the way. While it might be fun to start thinking about a werewolf Wolverine, don't get used to it. Another aspect of his healing factor is that it also heals curses. How does that work, you ask? Turns out the curses are tied to your cells just like anything else. But Wolverine views cursed cells as injured and replaces them. Just like someone who builds up immunity to any disease, Wolverine's tolerance increases with each attempt. So, while the first time around the curse might take effect for a moment, his body will fight back in the end. Logan is a hard-drinking, hard-smoking man. He has a rough life, so of course he would want to take the edge off now and then. Plus, his healing factor doesn't prevent him from feeling pain, including when his claws come out, so you could excuse him for wanting to numb the pain a little, right? Well, like a lot of things, it's not that simple for old Wolverine. The same thing that keeps him standing when the world is punching and stabbing him also keeps him standing when he's throwing a few back. In fact, if he really wants to feel even a little bit of the effects of alcohol, he's gonna need to take in a lot of it. That's because his healing power nullifies the effects of alcohol. So when you see him throwing them back in moments of quiet despair, at least part of that is him thinking about how much of the stuff he has to buy in order to feel it for just a little bit. That bar tab can get depressing. Now, if there's one thing that we all know about Logan, it's that he hails from the Great White North, known as Canada. Oh, Canada! Who knew they wanted a super soldier? Should have asked me. There are a few things that everyone knows about Canada. They like hockey, they're really polite, some of them say about funny, a boot, and the winters are really cold. That last part gets truer the further north you go, especially during the winter. When Wolverine debuted in The Incredible Hulk number 181, it's when the Hulk was trying to find some isolation in the cold northlands of Canada that he encounters the only Canadian that doesn't say sorry. The Hulk was there because he thought no one else could stand the super cold weather. But for largely the same reasons the Hulk could handle it, so can Wolverine. His healing factor allows him to shrug off the damaging effects of extreme weather. In fact, he's been left out in the cold with nothing to protect him before and not only wasn't affected, but ended up just having a nice nap. One of the depressing things about working out is how long it takes to see results. You watch what you eat, you keep your heart rate up, you lift the heavy things, you put them back down, and after a few weeks, you can lift slightly heavier things. In contrast, if you want a burrito, you buy a burrito, then you're eating a burrito. Instant gratification. Part of what takes so long with working out is that the lifting of heavy things damages the muscle, causing it to rebuild stronger. So you have to have the time to compound that process into newer, stronger muscles. Well, when you have a healing factor, that can accelerate the process. Not only does that result in Wolverine having superhuman strength, it also means that he doesn't get worn out like the rest of us. When most of us need a nice laydown and maybe a warm pad after exerting themselves, Wolverine just keeps getting stronger. Really, you're just making him mad, and he starts mad to begin with. There are plenty of animals in the world that have varying degrees of regenerative powers. There are certain lizards that can detach their tail in an emergency and are able to regrow it. Salamanders can regrow limbs and partially damaged organs. Immune cells called macrophages restart the organ and limb building in salamanders and axolotl. Yeah, science! For axolotl, they need those macrophages. Whatever the mutant gene in Wolverine is that makes him regenerate is a lot more ever-present. Just how much Wolverine needs to be left over for him to regenerate? A single drop of blood, it turns out. With conditions, that is. In X-Men Annual number 11, Wolverine threw himself in harm's way to protect Storm, resulting in the villain Horde pulling his heart out. Kalima! A single drop of Logan's blood got on the crystal of ultimate vision, causing that drop to regenerate Wolverine with cosmic powers, which Wolverine shrugged off because he's not power greedy. Even without assistance from a mystic crystal, Wolverine can come back from being mostly gone, even when the Hulk ripped him in half. Deadpool knows what that's like. Another one of Wolverine's main powers is his heightened senses. His sense of smell is so acute that secret identities are a waste of time. Wait, does that mean that someone could figure out superheroes' secret identities just by using a bloodhound? This is what villains get for not being dog people. He also has acute vision, including telescopic vision and night vision. If you want to fool Wolverine, you have to pull out all the stops. Not just in trying to impersonate other people, which takes Mysterio levels of deception, but just trying to get away with telling him that those mutton chops still look current. Just like another Marvel hero with heightened senses, Wolverine is able to use those senses to detect when someone lies to him based on their heart rate. So on top of being a raging, fighting machine that is nearly impossible to stop, you can't even lie to him and say you got a thing to get out of a fight. Granted, an angry man with claws coming out of his hands grilling you would make anyone's heart skip, but it seems to work for him. Most of us think that we have a special connection with our pets. Mostly though, that's because we have a limited number of expectations from us. Fluffenstein needs to be fed, head scritched, and the door to be held open so she can change her mind about going outside. Why? Why did you stand there meowing only to walk off after I opened the door? Did you want me to leave? You're cold, Fluffenstein. Stone cold. Wolverine does have that special relationship with animals, however. In fact, he has enough empathy with animals that it can go two ways. He can get what animals are after and convey his own wishes. That's down to him using the same set of language tools they have, their senses. By working in the same sensory world as the animals he encounters, including being able to smell pheromones, Wolverine knows where the animals are coming from. Rather than talking to the animals Doolittle style, he uses body language, sound, and positioning to get animals on his side. Oh, seriously, the door again? Why do you hate me, Fluffenstein? One of the things that makes the Hulk so formidable is that as his anger increases, the more powerful he becomes, with there seeming to be no limit to the rage he feels. It just so happens that this is a trait he shares with his one-time foe, Wolverine. While Wolverine isn't exactly powered by rage in the same way that the Hulk is, the dude is not exactly a paragon of anger management. Logan actually puts a lot of effort into containing his more primal rage because just like the Hulk, when he takes the cork off the rage bottle, things go off the rails pretty quickly. Maybe not destroy half of downtown Johannesburg bad, but pretty bad. In Wolverine's berserker rage, as we know, Wolverine loses all senses of rationality or control. He becomes the embodiment of to a hammer everything looks like a nail. He'll thrash out at anything that moves. To make matters worse, all of the rest of his powers kick into high gear, including his regeneration, meaning the longer he goes, the stronger and more savage he gets. He did say that what he does isn't very nice. Not everything that Wolverine does comes from his base set of powers. Being a murder machine for over a century means that he's going to run into other people with abilities, and eventually that starts to cross-pollinate. Rogue started out as someone who could just temporarily borrow people's powers until she got into it with Carol Danvers and ended up with a portion of her powers and psyche permanently. We're all waiting for that to happen in the MCU, right? That is going to be great. Anyway, Wolverine has met Professor X more than he remembers. The first time, he was there to kill the founder of the X-Men, but Professor X wasn't into it, so he cleared out Wolverine's mind so he didn't know what he was there for. By way of apology, Xavier installed a certain level of psychic protection in Logan's mind to keep another psionic from poking around in the head of one of the deadliest people in the Marvel Universe, which makes a whole lot of sense. Remember Johannesburg. If you ask, Logan will tell you that he's a loner. He's that quintessential 80s and 90s lone wolf anti-hero. You don't want to get involved with him, darling. He's a rough ride. People get hurt. Don't try and change me, baby. We're both better off if I'm just on my own. A lonely man in a lonely world. Except, Logan is actually terrible at being a loner. He's really more of a joiner. He's been on the X-Men, the X-Force, 3 different Avengers teams, and was a member of Canada's superhero team Alpha Flight. He's even been part of the Fantastic Four during a strange period where that included Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. You heard me. It's not just the team-ups. He's also paired up with various heroes for lengthy adventures as a mentor, bromance, or a reluctant fellow traveler. He even took Kitty Pryde on a tour of Japan. Thanks to his age, he's had time to run into all sorts of heroes, like spending a little of World War II with Captain America himself. He's even teamed up with Spider-Man in a popular storyline. Speaking of Spider-Man, we almost got an epic surprise with the wall crawler and his unlikely mutant friend. Film rights, as we've learned over the last decade, are a tricky thing. For instance, Disney owns the rights to the Hulk, but not to a Hulk solo movie. So now the Hulk piggybacks in other people's movies. Spider-Man's film rights were with Sony until Disney and Sony worked something out. Then they didn't. Then they did again. The mutants were locked away at Fox with the Fantastic Four until Disney won the game of corporate hungry hippo and obtained Fox, bringing mutants and the Fantastic Four back home. Before showing up in Civil War, Spider-Man was almost part of another surprise crossover. Hugh Jackman was scheduled to make a cameo in Sam Raimi's 2002 film Spider-Man. The only thing that held up Wolverine's appearance? They couldn't find the costume. That's right. Not only was Wolverine going to show up in a Spider-Man movie, he was going to do it in the costume. I'm just going to sit down for a second. While we're on the subject of Wolverine on the big screen, after 18 years as the character and numerous appearances, it's hard to imagine anyone else playing the rugged Logan than Hugh Jackman. Sure, he's almost a foot taller than the character he's playing, but he does it so well it just doesn't matter that much. As we prepare for the mutants coming to the MCU and a new set of actors taking on those roles, we can look back at Wolverines that never were. Before X-Men finally hit screens in 2000 with Jackman as Wolverine, there was a lot of fan casting, including superfan Glenn Danzig fan casting himself. Dougray Scott was actually Bryan Singer's first choice for Wolverine, but Tom Cruise said no. Scott was committed to Mission Impossible 2 and wouldn't accommodate Scott's schedule to take on the role of Logan. Even deeper, at one point, James Cameron was eyeing an X-Men movie. His choice for Wolverine? Bob Hoskins of Who Framed Roger Rabbit fame. He is short.
Put your hands behind your knees and get down on your head now!
Deadpool is one of Marvel's most interesting heroes. Besides earning himself the title, the Merc with the Mouth, an overactive need to comment on just about everything, is Deadpool unkillable? Is his fourth wall breaking a power? Is his aim his best weapon? Today on CBR, here's what nobody realizes about Deadpool. Over the past 20 years, Deadpool has returned from certain death on at least 4 occasions in various Marvel titles, including 2012's Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Deadpool's regenerative healing factor allows him to reassemble his entire body, even when he's just a severed head. The exact logistics of cellular death are not fully explicable, but so long as a piece of Deadpool remains, he will most certainly return. All of which begs the question, what other full-blown fatalities could Deadpool survive? Fans might have to look no further than the recently announced death of Deadpool in Deadpool number 6, coming this September. In the world of Deadpool, the X-Men, and beyond, Marvel Comics often feature characters whose psychic abilities can distort reality and manipulate individuals. On numerous occasions, foes have tried to exert psychic influence over Deadpool to no avail. The main reason for Deadpool's resistance is thanks to his own psychological makeup, which is far too frenetic to tame. Deadpool, who's known for his fourth wall breaking, has a keen awareness of things that lie beyond the fabric of the universe. Therefore, despite often seeming flippant, he operates on a whole different level than the average Marvel mind. The immense efficacy and speed of Deadpool's healing powers, the hero can, should he choose to, beef himself up for any occasion. For the average individual, the muscle tear and repair process that builds muscle usually takes a long period of sustained effort. Deadpool, on the other hand, his body can build itself a new arm in a matter of minutes, would only have to push himself, wait a few minutes, and then push further. One could only imagine what a day in the gym with Deadpool and Wolverine would be like. Bring a protein shake. Even with his abilities making him a formidable matchup against or with Wolverine, Deadpool has some skills in his arsenal that put him at a tactical advantage. With titles like Assassin, Soldier, and Mercenary under his belt, Wade Wilson is no stranger to various armaments. Foremost, Deadpool has preternatural skills as a marksman. Despite a proclivity for engaging in hand-to-hand combat just so he can mouth off to his opponents, Deadpool could just as easily take out his opponents from a distance, so long as they don't have abilities that would prohibit a long-range attack. In multiple instances, Deadpool has utilized sci-fi technologies that have bolstered his already potent set of skills and abilities. One notable example is his use of a short-range teleportation device, which gives him an ability akin to Marvel's Nightcrawler. When he's utilizing devices sourced by his on-again, off-again frenemy Cable, Deadpool can make quick retreats to recoup and hatch a plan for victory. It's not like Deadpool to back down, especially given that he doesn't need to worry about things like dismemberment, but it's a good opportunity for the character to throw another clever trick into the mix. Though not a traditional superpower in the same way of regeneration or enhanced strength, Deadpool's ability to transcend the comics medium has been a tool employed on multiple occasions. Given the hero's tongue-in-cheek antics and propensity to riff at length, there's something truly uncanny about the metafictional sense of self-awareness. Though the exact nature of frame breaking is unclear, Deadpool's position is a unique one held in the universe that relies on specific rules. Along with his strength, speed, sensory acuity, and weapons expertise, Deadpool has one last skill that no other Marvel character has: the ability to get under anyone's skin. Through laser-guided barbs meant to incite and aggravate, Deadpool pushes buttons like nobody else. He teases, even bullies, to the extent that it serves as a tactical go-to strategy in its own right. Like the art of gamesmanship, Deadpool is very good at destabilizing the enemy through the utter lack of professionalism. After all, a win is a win, and Deadpool's gonna go for that dub every time. Is he the most annoying character in all of the MCU? He's accomplished in many, many other ways that more than justify his co-headlining role in the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine. Despite being able to go toe-to-toe with the hothead Logan, Deadpool's Wade Wilson has far more tricks under his belt than noticeable at first glance. Thanks for checking out what nobody realized about Deadpool, and be sure to check out our other breakdowns of unique abilities. And maybe you already did realize, so sound off in the comments below about your favorite Deadpool moments, and be sure to hit subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching CBR.